Good morning and welcome to Beast Talks. I hope you're keeping well wherever you're watching us from. And as usual, this is just to let you know that we have an amazing conversation about to happen here on Beast Talks. Why? Because we want to help you today get to know the importance of research. Research needs for SMEs profitability. Sometimes maybe you could be wondering, why am I doing business the way I'm doing and yet I'm not seeing results? Could it be that you have ignored this amazing component of research? And so today we have an expert in the house. We have Francis Gachagua. I'll be asking him why he has that name. We have Francis Gachagua, who is the Chief Executive Officer, One Pulse Kenya. One Pulse Kenya. We'll be getting to know what do they do and where is the place of research since he has been in that field. Francis, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I hope you have had a good morning because, you know, we're in a very interesting season where business is getting affected a lot. And we can't ignore the fact that a lot of especially SMEs and small-time businesses are getting affected by this political instability. I don't know whether you've experienced that.
Oh yes, yes. I think it's affecting everybody. We are going through very challenging times.
Yeah.
Our average 5-day week has now come to 3-day weeks. So
Quite sad.
we are all getting affected, and we just hope that this situation is going to be addressed and done away with.
Yeah.
We've come from 3 years of COVID.
Yeah.
So I believe all Kenyans who are looking at this particular time to start, coming up on the upswing.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
one.
affecting everybody.
It's a tough one.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe this is an encouragement to every business person. Just don't give up. Let's just keep hope alive that things are going to quell up. Those discussions are going to happen, and let's flow. And let me just get into this conversation immediately. But first of all, in a simple introduction, someone could be asking, who is this guy? When people ask you that, who do you say you are?
Okay. So Francis Gachagua is a business person. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm part of a global organization. We run a company called One Pulse Kenya. Now, One Pulse Kenya is a subsidiary of a different company called Motion Pictures. And Motion Pictures is a marketing company that does experiential marketing. So that's where we started from. And then we realized that businesses, and especially SMEs, have a very big gap of getting consumer insights.
Okay. And
that's how One Pulse came to be born in this country. So One Pulse is a part of a global organization. It's based in the UK. And what One Pulse does is we provide a platform for businesses to obtain feedback from consumers.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, we say we have urbanized market research. Uber came to make our lives easy.
Absolutely.
It came to make our transport means cheaper, faster, available 24/7. And One Pulse has come to do exactly the same in the field of market research.
I love that.
Yes.
Of course, the next quick question is how you do this. Before we even address the whole need of research, how do you do this? Because I love the example of how you've come to urbanize, research and feedback. How do you do this?
So in this country, we have about 10,000 Kenyans who have downloaded the One Pulse application.
So it's an app that people can actually download?
It's an app that people have downloaded. And what then businesses do is they get to access those people through the application. All right? And let me just take you back a little bit.
That's okay.
Everything happens on the mobile phone.
Absolutely.
So whether
we are in
it's
this age.
or social media, or even watching news. I mean, we are on the go, so we are accessing our mobile phones for virtually every aspect of our lives.
Absolutely.
So the One Pulse application has been designed to fit into the onto the social lives that the modern age finds us in. And our application is extremely friendly. Okay. It's gamified, and it's meant to look like any other WhatsApp application, like Instagram, like TikTok. So you get into it to get entertained, to get news, and to answer a few questions that brands could be seeking to get answers from the consumers who have downloaded.
Wow.
So brands get into that ecosystem to be able to obtain information that will take their businesses forward.
Wow.
Yes.
So I am sitting in the shoes of an entrepreneur who's saying, okay, that's quite interesting. And you have, that's quite a large base of consumers of your app, you know.
Yes.
Are these people some of the, what I might call it, correspondents that help you come up with research insights for, you know, your clients?
So what this audience do, we engage them on a daily basis. And by the way, we talk to them about matters affecting their lives on a daily basis. And we asked them yesterday, did they go to work? How are they being affected by these demonstrations and lockdowns that are coming to freeze our lives? Are they missing meals because of the hardships that we are going through? How do they even assess what is their political opinion on all these things that are going on? So we talk to them on issues that affect them on a daily basis. So it is that flatbed then that brands now come and lie on, because these people are already talking to us, asking them about their brand, what they use to brush their, brush their teeth this morning, for example, or what route they took, or which taxi hailing cab they prefer. So we talk to them on matters that concern their lives on a daily basis, and it is that information that we now collect to give back to the clients, so that then they can use data. You see, data has been very expensive in this country.
Absolutely. It's not actually easy to just do even
conduct that.
Exactly.
It's been very expensive. It's been taking lots of periods of time to consolidate that data. And I want to go collect it, consolidate it, and then report it. And that is what has kept a lot of businesses, and especially SMEs, from conducting market research, because you can't afford it, number one. The players were very few, and then number three, by the time you get that information, so much water will have come under the bridge. So that is what now we have come to bridge. Yes.
Okay, and I think I like the base and the fact that you have in daily sort of research needs being addressed.
Yes.
My other question to you would be, we're talking about matters SMEs here. Do they have room for you? I think that's the best way to start. Can they come to One Pulse?
We do have. Actually, this product is more for the SME than for the big brands, and I'll tell you why. It's an SME who requires data the most. And we have had lots and lots of inquiries. Let me give you a recent example. About 2-3 months ago, we got somebody who wanted to establish a butchery at Westlands. And they wanted to find out, people around Westlands, where do they buy their meat from? It's that like easy, it's very down to earth.
You're right.
So they wanted to find out, where do people around Westlands buy their meat from? Do they buy from the supermarket? Do they have preferred butcheries? Do they prefer to get home deliveries? So they just wanted to understand that kind of behavior and habits that affect the geographical area they were interested in. So a business like that, where else would they get that information from?
You're right.
So what we did is we go into the platform. Our dashboard allows us to pull out who live in that particular location, and then we just segment that identify that audience, and then we segment them, and then we send them the questions. And by answers that they gave us, we were able to give the SME.
Wow.
This is where these people buy. This is where they live around Westlands. This is how frequently they buy the meat. This is the kind of meat they buy, and these are the average prices that they pay. So by the time you are looking at setting up, you already know what people in that particular locality are looking for. So SMEs have a very good time now to not only access consumer research at a very, 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 very low cost.
Okay.
We are very affordable. In fact, we work with what people have. If you only have 5,000 shillings and you want to conduct research, we'll give you data that is not necessarily diluted, but data that fits the budgets that SMEs have.
Okay,
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes.
I think I love that. There are two things that you've said that I appreciate a lot. One, that you can sort of like tailor-make research based on someone's budget, so they are welcome to One Pulse to come and really have that conversation. The second thing we have spoken about is, I like the butchery example because that really touches on the people we're talking about today, because that's a group of SME as well that can come with the little that they have. Still based on that, we're talking as well how research is connected to profitability.
Yes.
And why that example you've given of a butchery, for example, is because we have seen people who just randomly just decide, I think everybody eats meat, they open something and then they wonder where are the customers, because they went there blind.
Yes.
So I wanted you to endear to people, any SME that is watching today, why is it important for them before they just jump in? And not only even people in business, because we have a lot of people who are employed as well, and I always think inside hustle, that kind of thing.
Yes.
And they will just go put in all their money, and then boom, the money is just getting wasted by. Why is it important from where you sit? Because you have many numerous examples that you have seen. Why is it important for someone to consider, I need to get my research and insights?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll answer this way.
Yeah.
If you ask yourself any of the three questions that I'm going to say, then you need to conduct this research. Number one, if you are selling a product or a service, if you ever ask yourself, why don't customers buy from me?
Yeah.
If you ask yourself, if they don't buy from me, who are they buying from? If you ever ask yourself, are they even happy with what they buy from me? If any of those three questions would bag anybody who wakes up to do business, then One Pulse is there for you.
Wow.
Because then we answer those questions by not just giving you qualitative data or just telling you yes or no. We also answer those questions by giving you quantitative data. So we'll tell you this particular age group, people earning this particular income, this particular gender, this is what they think about the products or the services that you produce. And let me just go back a little bit more.
Okay.
You've seen the SMEs in this country provide about what, 40%, 50% employment, maybe even higher. And these are people who wake up every day to make a living. But because again that data has never been availed to them, they've always never thought that you can use data, you can use scientific method to be able to target better, to be able to rechannel your products in a different way, to be able to repackage them in a different way. And the more technology becomes advanced, the cheaper that service becomes. And my message today for the SMEs is that we've got a service that is available for you. We have a service that is cheap for you. But more than that, we have a service that is going to answer the most pertinent questions. And those questions are, who are my customers? Why do they buy from me? Why? Are they happy with what they buy? And if they don't buy from me, who do they buy from? In fact, if you even want to get and find out about intelligence, market intelligence, or people call it competitor spying, you learn to find them. Why do they come to Minor and not to my shop? Yet, I'm there. So, and they'll tell you, Mr. Minor offers us all these, and that's why we get there. Then you say, okay, so this is what they are being offered. How can I advance this? How can I make this better? And how can I then switch them over to this other side?
Lovely.
Yes.
I love that. Let me just keep on this conversation. And just for, if you just tuned in, we are talking matters research. and we have the Chief Executive, One Pulse Kenya, just spewing some quite good wisdom and letting you know that, you know what, you don't have to have all those huge budgets. Speaking of that, by the way, I have seen a lot of, you know, consumer behavior research being done sometimes here and there, you know, being launched as well. And my question sometimes is the authenticity of these particular ones that are done. So I always sometimes have those particular questions. So are they being developed as a business in Kenya? And how authentic are they? How can I know that these people are genuine?
Okay. And I like that. I like that, and we have seen quite a bit. I agree with you.
Yes.
Research ideally is meant to reflect what happens on the ground.
Yeah.
So it's then meant to convey the actual conditions. But again, depending on the sample size, depending on the methodology, then those variables may affect what eventually comes out.
Yeah.
And consumer surveys, political surveys, what other surveys have we seen? I think those are the two most common ones.
Yeah.
Especially political, because we get into this cycle of every 5 years we have an election period. And again, there are many players who are interested parties. If I'm sponsoring Minus Party and we decide to do a research, we definitely want to show Minus Party is performing well.
False data.
So again, they are vested interests.
Yeah.
So it's always good to look at, number one, the credibility of the organization conducting the research.
Yeah.
We in the industry also give out disclosures on the audience sizes that we are talking to.
Okay.
We break down our audience segments into gender, into locations. If we now come into our space, for example, we even keep a database of audiences that we speak to, that we can even speak to even a month or from now, even 2 months from now. And if you come into our dashboard again, that database is always locked. So you can always go back there. As opposed to the traditional research where we have, if I encounter you on the streets and you give me the answers that you give me, I will not have any access to you again because we met at a convenient point. I talked to you, you went east, I went west, and that was the end of the transaction. The technological system of doing things means then that you left a footprint on my database.
You're right.
So I will always come back to you when I need to, and that then means that it is not just a transaction. For us, we say that research is a conversation. We keep talking to our audiences. We don't just engage once and then we depart. We'll come back to them. If you said yes, and then tomorrow I ask myself, why did he tell me yes? I'll come back to you and ask you that you told me yes yesterday. Why did you say yes and not no? So I'll be able to get deeper insights and always learn this. The first question is always, if I ask you the first question, you'll tell me a yes or no and maybe a very shallow explanation.
Absolutely.
If I ask you a deeper question, then you give me an insight. If I ask you a third question, you give me a deeper insight. Now that is what we are able to give through technology.
Wow.
Yes.
Talking matters technology, you know, last week we had an amazing guest who came and spoke about Matters AI and how this is really mind-blowing in terms of the things that it's going to do. And being that age now, really, I mean, I have seen, you know, the who is who in this world, the Elon Musk of today, worried about the ChatGPT 5, all those launches, and they're saying, no, we need to stop this. And that definitely has a way as well to your business, not only just you, to many other businesses across the sphere. In fact, a majority of them. It feels like the world is about to change to something else. I don't know what are your thoughts about that in this age of AI, if I may call it that, and research. And I have no specific question to you. It's what are your immediate thoughts about this, and how are you circling this around?
AI is an eventuality we cannot ignore.
Okay.
And AI, machine learning, are being adopted in various aspects of our day-to-day lives. One Pulse uses AI for your information.
So you're very
we are already in that space.
Okay.
And how we use AI is in algorithms that determine who to dispatch these questions to. When the information comes up, for example, we have a feature called a word cloud on our reporting formats. And what word clouds does is, if we ask an open question, for example, what toothbrush did you use this morning? And we know if you go to the shelves, there are lots of brands. So the brand that has the highest incidence of mention will come out much bolder, and the other ones will come, much smaller.
I see
and
that was
organized. Yes. So and all that those are aspects of artificial intelligence. And I also mentioned about algorithms, and these ones are used to make sure that we do not over-research our consumers, for example. That we have questions or surveys that are sent to a multiplicity of people, just to make sure that not the same people are answering the same questions. So AI is in our space already, and the space can only get better. It can only get sweeter. I think what this does is to improve the quality of the responses that we get, and it also gives the brands that confidence that the value of what they are getting back as responses is not only a high quality, but we also say that in One Pulse, for example, we use system one thinking. When we send out service, we don't give you so much time to think about it. We want you to tell us what is on top of your mind. So if you take so long, then the pulse closes out. So yeah, AI is in our space, and I think it's a good thing to have.
Okay. Let's shoot back to, and you're right about AI, because I mean, I think what you've said or what I've picked is that it's not about running away from it, it's how can you work with it.
How can you
work that's what you've said, and I love the fact that you're already working with it. Let's go back now to the SMEs and profitability. I'm sure from where you sit, you have looked at businesses and you can tell they're about to struggle. Or they are doing well, or they have gotten it. And I would just want to pick your mind from that, because you're also in business. How do you, or what are the key metrics you can tell? Even as we're trying to tell the SMEs that research is what you need to get into. What are some of the key metrics you could easily pick and say you need to get into research? Are there certain things that you easily can pick up and say, you need to get into research because you're on the wrong path?
Okay. Number one, I think all businesses need to get into research, because
I love that. All businesses need to get into research.
Because you can never sell enough. I don't think we have situations where we are saying that we are closed because we are running out of stocks, apart from what happened at China Square the other day. But they also didn't run out of stocks, I think.
Somebody said it was a PR gimmick because now they have a lot of traffic.
Anyway. So all businesses must do research, because there's always that room for improvement. But having said that, you find that we all tend to have our businesses, our local businesses, tend to flow in very predictable patterns, if I may say so. If I open a stall in town and I start selling jackets or the beautiful shirt like what you're having, the next person will think, oh, this one is doing very well, so I'll do the same. So you tend to find that we have, I don't know how to call it herd mentality, but we don't differentiate ourselves. So how then can you differentiate yourselves? And this can only happen by by identifying what are even people looking for in the first place.
Yeah.
So I think all businesses use research, and I think if you look at the retail sector in this country, those are the people who are very fast in identifying number one, the profile of their consumers, or their consumers are likely to buy over and above bread and tea and milk in their show. And they were able to see that this consumer is interested in buying much more than that. So they came up with bigger stores. Remember when Nakumatt started at Westgate, and you know, they came up with a home department. They came up with an appliances department. Then they started selling furniture, and you know, the one that was at on Mombasa Road. Yeah. They even had a showroom for vehicles. Yeah. Whoa. You know, so they have utilized research more enough to know what kind of augmented services they can provide. Yeah. And if you go to more developed markets, they know that when consumers get into those stores, they also get hungry. So they have a space they have reserved for coffee. I haven't seen it yet here, but those are things that are coming in. So you want to be wholesome. You want to give a wholesome service, and probably now that is the high end. Okay. Bringing it back to our level. The businesses that are run on a day-to-day basis by SMEs, you can apply research again to be able to not necessarily do what you are doing or what the shop across the road is doing, but to be able to delve into that consumer and find out what else would be of interest, and even determine how much they'll be able to pay. I mean, they'll be prepared to pay for what it is that you are offering. Yeah. There's another client I would like to refer to. They package peanuts. Wow. You know, they package peanuts. And these ones, they are made at home, and they just wanted to find out if can you buy a peanut from where, number one, do you even buy peanuts? If you buy peanuts, where do you buy them from? How much do you buy them at? What flavors? Would you like to have flavors? Would you like to have garlic flavor, for example? Would you like to have clove flavor? Could you like to have? And they came, and this one even gave them for free, you know, because we want to encourage. We want to encourage, you know, SMEs to know and feel that you do not have to use your gut. Why use your gut, Maina? Why use your gut? You have your gut, I have my gut. So which one shall we use? You know. So don't use.
We'll always have differences. I know. You're right.
So don't use your gut. Yes. Just come and you just tell us. I would like to talk to Kenyans living in Nairobi, for example, who earn 20 to 30,000 shillings or 15 to 30,000 shillings. I want to find out their perceptions about peanuts, for example. I'm sourcing my peanuts, they are organically grown, and I want to package them, I want to deliver them, and I just want to find out opinions. So we just tell them, okay, fine, give me the questions. And if there is anyone listening to us today and you have this kind of a concern, just bring it to us. Okay. We shall do it for you free of charge, because we want you to see the value. Okay. We see the value of data and see the importance of what people are going to tell you, because we will be telling you we have spoken to 300 people or 500 people, and this is exactly what they have to say, and this data is not mine, it is yours. Go and see how it can help you.
Wow, wow. Yes. I love this, I love this. We're about to come to the tail end of this conversation, but allow me to just look at some of the questions people are asking. Okay. One of it is, I like this question that I picked out. Can you, I think it's how can Kenya, I think one was asking about an example, and I think you've given enough, the peanut one, the butchery and all that. So at least those are good ones. How can Kenyan SMEs ensure that their research findings, so I think there's someone who's already thinking, I have asked for research findings and all. So the research findings are translated into actionable insights and implemented effectively, given the specific culture and economic context in Kenya. I hope you get the gist of what they're asking. So I think it's, how can the research findings be translated into actionable insights? I think, how do they ensure that is done? Okay. What's your advice? Because I'm sure there are people who come to you, you've given them insights, and then still not seeing development? Maybe it's up to them. What is it that they can do?
Okay, number one, data. If data is not organized, then it may not give you any story.
Okay.
Our data tells you a story. And it tells you a story because it is organized data.
Yeah.
It is data that you are able to look at, digest, and see how you're then going to implement it. And judging from that question, how can I make my data implementable?
Yeah.
If that data is digested in a way that you are able to make sense out of it, then it will be easy to digest it. And that's why we say that we use system one thinking, so that you ask questions that bite. You ask questions that are going to be punchy, and questions that are going to give you the answers that you require. So we spend a lot of time at the drawing board or on the drawing board to be able to ask you, what is it that you want to get out of this research? It must be clear in your mind before you get in. Remember that technology jargon they use, garbage in, garbage out?
You're right.
We don't want to get into that. So we sit on the drawing board, identify what are the key excuse me, what are the key objectives that you want to achieve, and then we shall now say, for us to achieve those objectives, what kind of questions do we need to answer? To ask, so that the questions that come in are going to be questions that are relatable and that are going to plug in. Just recently, I think this week, we had some clients who came in and they are looking at doing what we call brand extension. You have your milk, it's doing well. You have your this, it's doing well. Now you want to find out, can I also put in this?
Something else.
Something else.
Yes.
And how will it do? And again, if that is the line of thinking that you have now to identify, are you talking to the same client? Are you talking to a different client? And for that to give you meaningful information, then what questions are you going to ask them? Once you have that, and then we input that onto a platform, believe me, you will get answers that are actionable. You'll get answers that may probably answer the first and second layer. Remember that first and second layer that I talked about earlier? Then you can now decide, do I want to go to a third and fourth layer? So you'll be able to get very digestible information, and you'll be able to get information that can be put to use and that can be turned around to give value. Yes.
I've just 1 or 2 more minutes, but let me just, I think I picked another question here. I think they're talking about what's the missing space in research that if implemented or accommodated may transform business efficiency and profitability. I think they're talking about, I think in general, have Kenyans embraced research? Are you seeing them embracing, or there is a whole gap? What are you seeing?
Because we have shrunk, technology has come to shrink, number one, time. It has come to shrink geography. It has come to shrink costs. With this platform, you can talk to Malindi from Nairobi. You can talk to Kwale from Nairobi. You can talk to Bungoma from Nairobi. You can talk to Migori from Nairobi. So that geography has now been shrunk. All right?
So it's now easy.
It's now easy. And time. You can do it at night, you can do it in the morning, you can do it in the afternoon. And then money. The amount of money I spoke about earlier, people are paying us by M-Pesa. You don't have to take so long. You don't have to rob a bank. You don't have to go collect, debts from other sources. It is affordable. It is real time. You get those results within 10-15 minutes. You have your results. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to get into transport and travel all the way to Mombasa. If you can get all that done by sitting here, why shouldn't you?
By the way, that's true. There you have it. One more thing, looking into the future. What do you think would be the most important research needs for Kenyan SMEs to remain competitive and profitable? Just looking into the future.
What will be the most?
what would be the most important research needs for
Okay.
Kenyan SMEs to remain competitive
Okay.
and
Okay.
profitable? And I know we've spoken about the AIs and all that, but now you're like a prophet. Looking at the vision, what do you see?
Yes, projections.
Yes.
The experiences of the last 2 years have shown us that consumer has become very dynamic. Today, I'm not choosing products necessarily that I was consuming a year ago. Because number one, we've seen inflation. The prices of different products have gone up. We have seen new products coming into the market. And we have also seen shifts into, for example, consumers wanting to consume what is considered to be more organic.
Yeah.
So consumer needs are shifting a lot. And they're shifting a lot now because you don't even have to buy from the store next. You can buy from Amazon, you can buy from Alibaba, you can buy from wherever. So businesses are not guaranteed that the consumers that are patronizing you today will be with you tomorrow.
You're right.
They are having, they have lots. Let me ask you, how many billboards did you see in the morning on your way to this office? Can you even collect?
I can't even count.
You can't count them.
Yes.
There are so many. All those are brands seeking for your attention. True or false?
True.
They are brands seeking for your attention.
Very true.
So the same thing is happening in a consumer's mind. When you wake up in the morning, you have lots and lots of options. Therefore, you must keep on top of mind of the consumers. And those options are going to get more and more and more, what do I say? They're going to get more and more increased as time moves on.
You're right.
So the time's coming. You need brands, SMEs will need to get in touch with those consumers.
You're right.
You need to follow them. You need to know what's on their minds.
You're right.
And that's the only way you are going to make projections.
Yeah.
But I think, again, it's a very interesting space.
Yeah. So you're also on the evolving stage.
We are also evolving with it. And we are also making sure that the platform is more diversified so that it can take all these changing requirements that are coming in the future. So it's going to be interesting, and I think this is a time to jump in, because the moment you start taking data now, that data will only make your business better. As you move into the future. You're right. Yes.
So don't stop. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Thank you.
This is the final one. How can people, you've said, if people want to access One Pulse, it's purely just go download the app and then.
Yes. So get into your App Store or Google Play. And look out for One Pulse Kenya. It's got a fist sign, power to the people, give voice to the people.
Yes.
And it's available. We'll be more than happy to get inquiries from you. I've given some offers for the first few. Will come in and we'll give you for free, and we'll be more than happy, especially for SMEs, because SME is where the game is at.
Okay.
They are the people who have been locked out of research. They are the people who have who use a lot of gut feeling to make business decisions, and we are saying we are cutting all that, and we are making this affordable to you. You will pay the price you want to pay, and we'll be more than happy to serve you.
I'm taking the first one. So guys, write if you need to get that offer. That was a good one, because I want my mother to get into some good business. We'll talk about after this.
Okay.
Thanks guys for your time. I know we have taken a bit of your time today, but we appreciate such a great conversation, and I hope you've left here with something, knowing very well that, as he said, every business must get into research. So if you're not there, you're getting yourself into trouble. I think he has put it as it is. And oh my, insights on my head as well. I was taking notes too. So thanks so much for your time. That has been Bees Talks today. See you. But before you go, hold on, before you go, oh my goodness, I almost forgot. This coming Friday, we're going to have an amazing time with entrepreneurs right here at the Exchange. And it's going to be an amazing time talking about matter sustainability, how to go ahead and do business. We had the first one at the Capital Club, this other one as well. Great, amazing speakers. Check out for our posters and our social media handles for this particular conversation. So you don't want to miss this. And of course, on top of that, we're going to have a good time and networking sessions as well for you. So see you then, Friday, and bye-bye for now.